Planning Board meeting. It's October 4th at 7:30 p.m. We have a quorum. Before we came here, we did 2 site walks. One on Waterboro Heights, which is on Panoramic Drive off of Deering Ridge Road. It's for 13 lots. And then we went over to Ptarmigan, thank you, Ridge Estates, to 6 lots right on Deering Ridge Road. Those public hearings are set for October 18th at 7 p.m.
Correct.
Okay. At this time, we're going to go right to new business for another name with an extra letter. Xota?
Correct.
All right. Brewing Company. And this is going to be located at 721 Main Street. Who's up?
Would you like me to introduce it?
Sure.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lee J. Feldman, planner for the town. The applicant is seeking approval to create a brew house, I guess I'll call it, to do beer brewing. It's a nano brewing operation, which is very small. It's less than 7 barrels of beer types that he would be creating there. In fact, I think he's proposing 5, and I'll let the applicant actually speak to a number of these things. The property is located on Main Street, 202 and 4, just south of, I want to say south of, How and How property.
721.
721,
Main
yes,
Street.
thank you. The applicant is proposing to have 9 parking spaces on the site to accommodate the seating capacity that he'll have for the tasting room on there. There's also a outdoor beer garden area for folks to be able to sit and enjoy their beer. The only issues that staff raising on this application this evening is that on the plan they've got an area that is a circle that says reserved for emergency turnaround vehicles, and staff would like to see that actually constructed as a hammerhead, which is the typical design standard, and I believe the fire department requested that at our site plan staff meeting. So you want to condition them on constructing a hammerhead turnaround in that area. And the only other issue is this is on a main arterial, 202. And so your design standards are something you'll want to look at and consider in looking at the building. That's why the applicant has provided his architectural renderings for you. Other than that, I'll turn it over to the applicant or his representative and let them present and answer any questions you may have.
Please. And just state your name for the record.
Good evening. My name is Josh Charette. I'm seeking approval from the planning board to construct a building at 721 Main Street. The intentions of the building is to put a tasting room and a brewery on site. The plan is for a 1,344 square foot building located about 66 feet back off the road to allow room for parking. The scope of the business will be to have anywhere from 5 to 7 barrels of beer to be brewed at any given time. A barrel of beer is equal to 31 gallons. So what would happen is there is a cold side and a hot side in brewing. So the operation would entail a 3-barrel hot side, doing double batches on a brew day. So you would do 3 barrels at a time. You would transfer it into a fermenter, which would be the 7 barrels, where it would sit and ferment for anywhere from 7 to 14 days, and move over to a conditioning tank, into kegs, and then for serving on site. The way a tasting room and brewery works is I am only allowed to sell what is made on premises. I cannot sell water, I cannot sell food. The only thing I can sell is tastings. A liquor license is not required. It's called a brewer's notice, and that's provided by the state of Maine in the TBB, which regulates everything. So there are numerous government agencies that regulate what I'm going to be doing on top of the local ordinances that I need to follow. The process would be to construct the building. Once all of the tanks are set in place, that is the only time you can apply for your permits to actually begin the process. You would apply with the TBB, and they would provide your brewer's notice. The state of Maine would come, and they would give the blessing to start producing the beer. At that point, it would be the same way anything else would be. A patron would come in, to frequent it, they would pay for a sample, enjoy it on premises, and leave. So that's the process of going about it. So on to the plans of the building. Stephen Everett provided a survey for the property as well as the site view. Again, the property is located on 202 on 721 Main Street. I applied for a DOT entrance permit already. It was a grandfathered lot. So what occurred is I applied for it because of the setbacks. They said they could grandfather it, but they couldn't actually write the actual permit for it. I provided the information from a 2003 aerial view, as well as conditional permit that the town of Waterboro had presented to the courtways back in 1999 for a commercial use garage, which is why they grandfathered it. I believe it's in the packet showing the view that was provided. As you pull in, there would be 9 parking spots. The code enforcement booklet states that there needs to be 1 parking spot for every 3 seats, as well as 1 parking spot for every 3 employees. I'll be the only employee of the business. My goal is to have 24 seats, so there'd be 8 parking spots plus 1 parking spot for myself. Of course, there'll be an ADA parking spot properly marked with a crosshatch, so it will be completely handicap accessible. The building will have turnarounds on the south side of the property for emergency. As Lee J noted, I need to make sure that the Hammerhead parking spot does go in for the fire department. We did meet for the site plan review, and that was one of their major concerns. At that point, once that is corrected, I believe everything is in place. I am having the septic drawn up by Albert Frick. It's being engineered so it's properly set for the business that I'm conducting there and can handle the amount of water that I'm going to be producing. It is under the 800 gallons, so the site plan review doesn't need any more studies than that. It's going to be about 620 gallons a day, according to Albert Frick estimates. The garden area in the back is going to be fenced in with a 6-foot privacy fence. On the plan that you're looking at, it's very hard to depict white vinyl, but that's the color it's intended to be. It's going to be a perimeter fence that extends 24 feet from either direction on the back of the building. Then it's going to extend west about 70 feet to the back of the property line and in. The major reason to do this is to be a good neighbor. There is 1 property with an owner that's adjacent to me. It's the only property owner around, but again, I want to make sure that any noise buffering I can do is in place.
You're not going to have any music or anything like that?
It's not my intention to have any music at this time. If I do, there will be an indoor space, so it wouldn't be heard by anybody outside.
May we ask questions? First off, how do you pronounce the name?
Sure, it's Xota Brewing Company.
What is it?
Xota.
Xota. Okay. X's always throw like as I like.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Either you pronounce it right the first time, or you don't. And it's one correction, but it's not a big deal.
Xota.
Either way, Xota. Yes, correct.
And when you have a tasting room, are you limited to the amount of beer people get to taste, or do you serve steins of beer?
The state of Maine has no regulations for the amount of a taster. Typically, and what I will be doing is the tasting sizes will be 10 ounces.
I'm sorry.
10 ounces would be a roughly tasting size, but Maine has no stipulation for the size of a tasting.
I was just curious. So people will come in and taste different beers? Is that, are all the same?
Correct. I'll have, at any given time, anywhere from 5 to 8 varieties on draft.
Okay.
The 24 seats, does that inside and outside, does that
Correct.
24 total? Okay.
Yes. The With a tasting room, the main goal is it's not like a restaurant. People will come enjoy a few beers, have the tasters, and move on. The industry as a whole is not treated the same as a restaurant, where somebody's going to come in, sit down,
Right.
order dinner, wait. So the amount of time someone's going to spend at the property is going to be considerably less than if you're going out to dinner.
So inside the main building, I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Dave.
Go ahead.
Inside the main building where you have your hot and cold, I think that's what you said. Where is the area for people to sit and taste, other
So-
than the outside?
So if you look at the building, the conceptual drawing of the building, the top portion of it, you'll see on the left side a garage door, and then in the middle of the building there'll be double doors.
Yeah,
As you walk into the double doors, the left side will be the actual brewing area,
okay,
and as you turn right, you will walk into, it'll have a small, probably
where the windows are.
Yes, a 7 or 8 person bar with a place to put drinks on the walls. And then that back door is going to be a glass garage door, which in the seasonable months will be open for patrons to walk in and out. So it gives them more space to be kind of around the property.
David, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just a couple of questions. I have to tell you, I'm a little concerned about the 9 parking places. Given the fact that you have an outdoor garden area where presumably people can be standing around drinking, I'm assuming that Nice Brewery is a similar operation to what you're proposing?
Correct.
Okay, so they sell growlers, they sell to take, which you will be selling,
Yes.
and then they have a fairly robust tasting business of various size beers
Yes.
with people in the backyard and so forth. I'm trying to get an idea what the occupancy is as opposed to the seating capacity, because the occupancy seems to me to be more a driver of the space you're going to need. And Nice routinely has more than 9 people up there, I mean, from the times I've been there.
So
During
when
the summer.
I'm sorry.
One for every 3.
Well, I understand, I'm just simply saying that 1 for every 3 seats, but if people are standing around, again, what you're ending up with if you don't have enough parking is going out on a Route 202.
So I did anticipate this, and the number of seats will roughly be 24. However, based on the plan, I wanted to put 9 parking spots in just to show that they're available for the number of seats I have. Based on the parking area, there'll be more or less to be able to fit about 18 to 20 cars with 9 by 18 parking spots.
Okay.
And where would that be, toward the back?
If you look, so the proposed leach bed is on the north side of the property. And as you follow, if you pull into the driveway and turn right towards the north side, there's actually about 7 more parking spots there and 1 more at the end that can be filled in. But I just wanted to show on the plan, based on the seating capacity that I have, that there will be ample room for the number according to the zoning book.
You're going to get rid of that slab,
The slab will be removed.
and the parking, will the parking go not over the septic area?
No, the septic is placed far enough back on the leach bed that the cars won't be driving on it. I also talked to Albert Frick, and the way that they are designing it, it will be able to drive on, but it was not my intention to have anybody on the actual parking area. But I wanted to ensure if somebody were to pull on, that it was not going to damage the leach bed.
Okay, a butter's notice.
I have talked with the abutter, and I will get the letter to Tammy tomorrow. I didn't bring it.
Cool.
Our biggest thing is we have design standards. And we need some type of a pitched roof, I believe. And I see that it looks like a shed roof here.
Well, I gotta say, the design standards, there's a difference, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a difference between a pitch and a peak. And I think that's what Judy's looking for. But the standards say
I'm not looking
pitch.
for anything specific. I'm just wondering if this were facing the road the long way.
It is a shed style roof.
Pardon?
It is a shed-style roof, the way
Yes.
the design is.
How is it worded? Does it say gambrel roof, or does it say just pitched?
And while they're doing that, you did go by, you were saying vinyl siding?
Metal. So the design standards, and bear with me, I'm looking for a fairly modern industrial look. The bottom portion of it, I do want to break it up because I personally don't like entirely metal buildings. So the 36 to 40 inches base of it will be a faux brick siding with a trim level package on the top.
We have gone down this path before, where we were told that that was going to happen, and it did not happen, and no one caught it in time. And so you've got to excuse us for being super particular.
Okay.
Okay, I see he's got it on the design here, this brick. What color is the building going to be?
Gray.
Gray industrial, metal, right?
Correct.
So it's going to look like, is it going to look like gray paint, or is it going to look like corrugated metal?
It would be corrugated metal.
Okay,
What is it?
so here's what the ordinance says.
Pardon?
Here's what the ordinance says. It says the roof shape of a building shall be visually compatible with that of buildings to which it is visually related. First statement. So there really aren't any
There's
buildings.
nothing.
There's nothing around there.
That's
related to.
How
no
how
clear
is a
pat-
flat roof?
When no clear pattern exists, a roof pitch of 512 or steeper shall be used, or the building should be designed so as to appear to have a pitched roof. The design of the roof line or parapet wall shall screen any air conditioning or other utilities placed on the roof on three sides most visible to the public. So it says that it should be designed to appear to have a pitched roof. Doesn't say it has to be a pitched roof, it appear. So, in other words, if the building does have, even if it's a shed roof, if the front of the building is facing and the shed goes off the back, if it appears to have some sort of a peaked roof, did I say pitched roof, excuse me.
Pitched is not necessarily peaked.
Correct. Correct.
A shed
What it
roof,
can't have is a flat roof.
yeah. But this could have enough pitch to it. To be okay.
Right. As long as it meets the pitch guideline.
Correct, 512 or steeper.
The window, you're going for an industrial look. Windows, black.
The windows, I haven't, honestly, I really want to get this done, and I am open to suggestions on things like that. But the glass garage door in the back to make it open, oversized windows in the front so it doesn't look like a giant metal building. The windows depicted in this are about 6 feet by 6 feet. So you're not coming up to a building and looking at metal on every side of it. It's
Now
an
that part of it, that looks very attractive.
Right, so you'll have the goal is to break up the building as much as possible, but to keep a fairly industrial look to it. The garage door on the brewery side is 10 feet by 12 feet. It's a very large door to break up the height and the width of the building in the way that I place the doors, so you break everything up. I didn't show it on this because I didn't want to take away from the look of the building. But I'm talking to my mother-in-law. She loves gardening, and we're working with the University of Maine's cooperative team for their environmental on their lawn and garden section. And the goal is to put all native Maine plants around the building, anywhere from a 48 to a 60-inch bed across it. So the plants that we're looking at right now are black-eyed Susans, common junipers.
all that, yeah.
So I really want to make it look nice on the outside as
How
well.
tall is your fence?
6 feet.
Okay. If you want to put hostas out there, you're going to want a tall fence.
What's that?
If he's going to put hostas out there, he's going to want a tall fence. Keep the deer out,
Yeah.
because they will
So,
chow down on
All
it.
right.
So where are you I read all this, but where are you doing the plantings?
I haven't, so it would be on the front side of the building,
Towards the road, between the
closest to the
building and
road,
Route 5.
between the parking lot and the building, to show a definite place where you're going to park your cars. You're not going to pull into my garden. I'm going to have a 6-foot privacy fence on the front side of the building to guard any equipment that I have, so you're not seeing it from the road. So your propane tank, any air condensing units, because they're not going on the roof, things like that, so they're hidden from sight.
They're all going to have to be camouflaged somehow.
Right, so you'll have the white privacy fence adjacent to the building with your propane tank behind it, any HVAC units behind it. So when you're looking at the building, you can't see any of my mechanicals.
Okay.
So the front side of the building will have, like I said, anywhere from a 48 to 60 inch garden bed with native Maine plants on it. And then, excuse me, between the entry doors, the double doors on the entry side, and underneath the windows will also have plant beds. So the building on the front and sides will have greenery around them.
Okay, and that's the brick on the bottom.
Correct.
How high did you say the brick was going to be?
Roughly 36 inches.
Mr. Chair, if I
Yes.
can interject a little bit, I think this is a pretty sharp design. I think the only thing that's going to turn you guys off is if the roof is silver.
Good question.
The roof is not silver. It's also going to be a dark color.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, Judy?
If we're talking about the design,
Sure.
and I like this, but with all that corrugated metal, I just see dark black muntins and window frames, if you can possibly do that. Otherwise, it's going to look like a factory building.
Okay, so keep the actual frames not like a vinyl white.
Not white, black.
Okay.
Black on the gray.
Black with gray.
That would look sharp.
I'd like to say that because we've been down this road before, we're going to make sure it looks like this.
Absolutely.
Just so the board
In other
knows.
words, that's why I asked about the 3 feet of brick.
And to be completely honest, it's not a very inexpensive thing, but I priced it.
We get that.
It's about, so
We
for my
understand.
building, and like I said, it's a fairly tall building, and I do not want to show 20 feet of corrugated steel. I personally don't think it looks good. So when you break up 3 feet, it will also have, because of the way the faux stone works, it'll have the trim board on top of it. So it'll actually bevel out and create
Right.
more depth to the building as well.
Yeah. And the garage door, is that paned or is that solid?
The rear garage door?
Yes.
The one into the garden?
The one next, where you walk in, the entrance, and then you've got a small door, and then you've got the garage door?
On the rear of the property, under the overhang?
Yeah, no. In the back, where the lights are.
That would be a standard garage door.
But the one in the front is a paned garage door?
When you're in the tasting room area,
That's in the
and you're
back.
looking to the garden, it's going to be I believe it's 8 foot by 10 foot
That's the
pane
back.
glass door.
Okay.
Right, that'll be facing the woods.
Okay,
What we'll call
okay.
woods, because this side will be going out through.
So this is,
Right, because that's the glass doors will be coming out into this fenced-in area.
yeah, okay,
So
Those doors here will be here.
yeah.
I assume if there's enough room for a fire truck to turn around, then I assume you eventually want to send out beer, sell it to other people.
So
I mean,
the
you're
state.
going to have big trucks in there loading beer, you hope.
So I'm sorry, excuse me.
Sure.
The hours of operation, kind of outlined. I will be closed for business Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Those will be brew days. I do not want to brew with people in their tasting or on days people are tasting, just because one, it's a headache for me, and two,
Can't do both.
things get hot in there.
You're
And
the only one.
in the hours of operation on Thursday will likely be in the afternoon, closer to 4. So if there are large trucks coming in or deliveries, the parking lot will be empty because it will be closed to the public.
Okay. I just want to make sure you got enough room there to expand, which would be
I think
great.
this is.
I don't have any room to expand. It's a
Well-
0.55 acre lot.
Well, what I'm
Yeah.
hearing though is if you do decide to do deliveries, it'll happen on days you're not.
On
open
days
for
that there's
retail.
no one in the park, there'll be no retail sales when the delivery happens. And if I start delivering or doing retail sales in kegs to start, Maine does not require that you have a distributor. I can self-distribute. So where the size of my brewing process is so small, I can self-distribute 20 kegs directly out of my car to local businesses. So there'd be no trucks coming in and out there anyway at that point.
I think this is a great idea.
Thank you.
And if you can guarantee us that everything you say here is going to be done, the flowers, the plantings, the fence, the colors, then I would be okay with it.
Just so the board knows, Glenn and I have met with him, as well as the other staff, when we did the staff review to talk about parking and make sure.
Right, right.
And the chief was fine with that, provided we get that hammerhead in there. He has been made very well aware that if you say you're gonna do it, you need to do it. Because of where we've been before with
Yes.
a couple of other projects.
Right.
So he has been forewarned and he knows what he's getting into.
Okay, good, good.
And I am, I work for another company. I'm doing the general contracting for it and bidding, so I'll make sure it's all on there.
That's fine.
Okay. See, there's
We need
multiple.
to do the waivers.
Yep, multiple waivers here.
Yes, and the waivers, board members, that he's asking for, because the site is so small and because the site is so flat, all of those waivers that he's seeking we're fine with. I don't think that there's anything, in fact, I believe
Okay.
one of the things that he may want to address with you is that he's not even going to have a trash receptacle on the site, because most of the materials will either be recycled or small enough that it would be bagged and
All right.
taken off property.
Okay.
Judy?
The stuff that's left over after you brew, I don't know what it's called.
Spent grain.
Okay. How much of that will be, and do you have plans for it? Do some people,
I've been speaking to local
what I'm
farmers.
getting at, okay.
And
Nice, nice.
With brewing, there's very little waste. The hop residue, and I'm working on finding a local farmer to take this, can actually be used
Used
to mix
for
with water and
animal
fertilize. And the spent grain can be used to fed pigs and chickens. And so a brew day will likely consist of about 400 pounds of dry grain. And that will all be given to local, because I don't want to dispose of it. It'll be given to local farmers for feed.
Can you use it for cattle feed?
I'm not entirely sure about cattle.
Seems that I saw it on,
It's
Somewhere.
Judy, I need some.
the
But
I
you
don't
said
know.
chickens.
it's
We got
free range
chickens.
chickens, pigs.
oh,
So
there's a pig farm in town.
there's actually a gentleman I'm reaching out to, Gerard Farms. I went to high school with him. He's just opening a new thing in Alfred, I believe, or locally around here. And I'd like to help other local businesses get started up.
All right, just for public information, the waivers, this first one's for gas
We need
pumps.
to take them one at a time, I believe, and
Yes.
vote on
Yep,
them.
that's all right. So we're starting with this first one for gas pumps and a freestanding structure. What exactly, I know what the gas pumps are. What do you mean freestanding structure?
Like a canopy structure.
Okay. Is the board all right with this?
So nothing will be.
I'll make a motion that the waiver for gas pumps and freestanding structures be granted.
All right, we motion second. David? All right.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
There are a lot of waivers
Yeah.
here.
You want, okay, fine.
If you can
Do all of them?
slow down just a
Can-
little bit so I can get everything.
Would you
for a
like us to
second.
go through all the waivers or
But
do
don't
one?
we have to have a motion for
You-
each one?
Well, if
No?
there's 3 or 4, you could do it that way. You've got a slew of them. If you want to read them all and then take them as one
Motion to
motion,
approve.
you can do that.
I'll tell you what, board members, how about I'll go through them and you stop me on any one that you think that we should discuss, all right? Sound good?
So, is that
We had a
last?
motion and a second.
All right, let's do this one. Let's do this one. Is there any
I'll
discussion?
withdraw my motion.
All right, so withdraw you, okay, so we withdrew. Back to square one. All right.
There's more than one way to skin a pig.
Okay, so this is gas pumps and a freestanding structure, which is a canopy. The next one is for topographical to the adjacent property. Because this has been there for a while and it was already existing businesses, is that why we're gonna forego this, or we're being asked to forego this?
It's flat.
It's flat, level.
Okay. Waiver for hydrological study, impact study. The septic is not in excess of 800 gallons.
Just one restroom,
Correct.
Okay.
and you're on city water or
Yes.
town water.
Yes.
Okay, the next one is waiver for hydrants and sprinklers. This place will be hooked up to town water. So it'll be a place for the fire department to plug into. Okay. Stormwater management, again, we're on flat land. And the size of the property, the size of the lot.
How about off the tarmac when it rains? I mean,
He's having gravel, he's not paving.
It's not.
okay,
It's going to be
It'll
permeable.
sink right in.
Okay. This one's for storage of hazardous waste. Is there any hazardous waste in this business?
No.
Okay.
unless you drink too much.
The nitrate study. And again, it's hooked to
That's
public water. And this one here is a waiver for a dumpster, which you're saying you won't need.
Correct.
Snow storage,
What are you gonna serve in glasses
Yes.
that will be washed?
Yes.
it does say here that if needed, there's a place to push snow.
Because the garden area will not be used in the wintertime, I am installing, as you can, on the plans, if you look at the bottom depiction, that's, I can't remember if it's a 12-foot or 16-foot gate. It's a double gate that's going to be open, one for the fire department if someone's back there, or the ambulance, they can actually get into the garden area with a vehicle. So in the wintertime, I'll be able to push snow into that area as well, out of the area of parking, out of the area of the turnaround, and just kind of keep it out back there.
Oh, okay, I see the gate here. All right. And that's the last waiver. Is there any of these the board would like to discuss? Okay,
I make a motion that we
Grant.
grant the waivers as written.
Second.
I'll second.
Second, Judy. Any discussion? All in favor? 4-0. Which brings us to, let's see, whether or not to have a, well, let's see here. Fire hydrant, the waivers. Whether or not to have a public hearing.
The ordinance indicates that you may have a public hearing. It doesn't say you shall. So it's really up to the board. You're not required to have it. I believe the abutters have been notified.
They have, I've spoken to him directly about the plans.
And we have not received any calls or anything on it, nor is anybody here this evening, so it's
Well-
certainly the board's choice.
The only comments I've heard at the restaurant have been very positive. And if it's gonna be negative, I'd hear about it at the restaurant.
Yes, you would.
When did you send out the notice to the abutter? And somebody had mentioned to me there was 2 abutters on this property,
The
which I'm looking for that aerial, which I saw.
the land around me, I am entirely encased by, I think his name is Randy Emmons, and I spoke to him on numerous occasions when I bought the property. He spoke to me. He was actually going to look for prior surveys in the past, so he's well aware of what's happening and what's going up there. The property around me, that is his right-of-way easement for the trucks. On the other side of me, it's the storage place, and that's about 500 feet away.
Oh, right.
And across the street, it's wooded. Diagonally across the street, it's a business park, and that's probably 600 feet or so away.
Those are the offices, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I think we need to hear from some abutters before we just,
I would be biased towards offering a public hearing. If nobody comes, nobody comes, but the process, I think, is a good
okay.
one.
We don't want to stall the project out. We want it, we like it, but I just, because what we're dealing with here is hearsay. We're saying, well, you know, we talked to these people, we talked to those people. This could easily shoot us in the foot down the road. Like the design standards, we've been through this before. How fast can you get, like the letter from that gentleman you just said, he knows what you're doing? Can you get letters from these guys, from both these abutters? And then we can forego the public hearing? Or we could discuss foregoing the public hearing?
Which other abutter?
I thought we just said there was two.
Well, either if you're going to forego the public hearing, you would be making your approvals this evening. If you're going to postpone it until you have a public hearing, then you're out 2 weeks.
I know.
You're actually out longer than that. Because he has to give them 10 days in which to respond.
And what happens if down the road we find out that they didn't know anything about this business?
Well, couldn't you take and condition it? He can take and obtain the documentation that, yes, I understand.
Fine. David, because this is going to have a couple of conditions anyhow. So, if we get a, if we
Here's my concern. I really appreciate the work you've done. I really want to see the business be built, succeed. But I think transparency is also really, really important. And yes, the abutters have to have a chance to say, I think there may be someone else nearby that wants to say something. And I think the idea of announcing a public hearing gives that opportunity for people to be heard. Having that small delay at this point paves the way on a pretty solid foundation to move ahead without any likely surprises. Not doing it, I think, leaves us somewhat open. So I would opt still for announcing and offering a public opportunity for people to be heard. If no one takes advantage of it, so be it.
Would we do that the 18th, the same?
Can't do it then.
It's too short,
To
you
be the
know,
next meeting.
because there's a certain amount of time that we have to know.
Oh, so we're
So
pushing
you're a
it.
month out.
Recommendations from the board.
I
Judy?
really don't, I think as long as we get letters from the abutters saying that they're fine with it.
In black and
That's
white,
good
everybody
enough for
that's
me.
in the area.
I'm still not clear. One or two abutters?
The property around me is owned entirely by. So if you look at the survey, the property owned on all sides is previously Barbara and the Guilfords, the Joneses. I'm sorry. That was deeded to their son Randy Emmons in 2013. He is the only abutter to me within his property.
What was the gentleman's name again?
Randy Emmons, I believe.
All right.
But also across the street is considered a butter, I believe.
And that is wooded.
Within 500 feet, or that's the distance we're going to.
There's nobody there.
It's wooded. And then the next business would be the mini storage.
Yeah, but still in a butter, whether it's wooded or not.
And he's across the street.
Somebody
Yeah,
owns
just
it.
because it's wooded, it's
Right.
owned by somebody.
Steve, do you know who owns the land across the street? Do you remember?
I believe it's on the
I could
survey.
Strawman LLC, I don't know who they are, that's what the town of Waterboro has as the owner.
Glenn, going for something?
Yep.
All right, we'll give him a minute.
Sure.
Yeah, I've asked Glenn, neither your site plan review ordinance or the zoning ordinance, current zoning ordinance, defines a butter. The new ordinance has a definition of a butter. Usually the abutter is someone that directly abuts. So, I mean, I think that the issue is while you may want to hear from the town, the only people that count if there were ever an appeal is a butter based on the definition of a butter.
Hey, Tim, all the years we've been doing this, we've always had a 200 or 300 foot a butter rule, everything we've done, the whole time we sat on the board together. And now,
So
think that's set down.
I thought that it's gotta be in the ordinance somewhere.
the definition that was in there,
As
the,
it,
the definition
in the existing ordinance.
says the owner of any property with one or more common boundaries or points from another property. In the case of a zoning board of appeals case, in the case of a zoning board of appeals case, so there was no definition of a butter relevant to site plan review, conditional uses, or anything like that. We're proposing, so that it gives you a general idea, that the new ordinance is going to say an abutter is any property within 500 feet of the property involved in an appeal.
Go back to, we're dealing with the existing ordinance right now. Please,
I
please
understand.
reread that section about properties touching the property.
I don't see
Because,
it.
Well, there is no
There's
definition.
nothing.
There is no definition.
Butter is not there.
There is no definition.
Accessory structure is the first thing.
Correct. That's why we're in this new zoning.
we've always made them do it before.
And I have the tax map if you'd like to see it over the abutters.
You may have used something that would be of common knowledge, but there's
Yeah,
no definition.
There's no definition.
And if there were ever an appeal,
No, thank you.
It
I
would
appreciate it. I
be
know
by
I had something
definition.
kicking around here. So Randy Emmons owns the property.
Completely surrounding mine.
All right. That shouldn't be too hard to get. I'm willing to go on the condition that we get something from Randy Emmons, saying he knows what's going on, and he's on board with it.
That we approve this
Right.
with that condition.
I know David's not happy
So-
with that.
let me give you a procedural issue in
Yeah, I'm
that.
not thrilled myself.
If you condition it on obtaining a letter or comments from the abutter that he's fine with it, that's fine. If he does not, you would need to make a motion to reconsider your approval at the next meeting. Just so you understand.
Okay,
So
so-
you can condition it on that. But
So,
if we don't get an approval or a comment from the applicant saying he's
But-
okay with it,
by the next meeting.
by the next meeting, you
Yeah,
would
2
need
weeks.
to make a motion to reconsider it would just basically
Fine,
open the application back up for discussion.
I'd go with that.
we're good?
It's okay.
Yeah.
And Randy Emmons is a regular around town, so you shouldn't be hard to get your hands on him.
No, I've talked to him on
Okay,
half a
great.
dozen occasions.
Okay, so by the next planning board meeting, we're gonna need something in writing from Randy.
Of course.
Okay, great.
Does this have to be a motion?
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna, just wanna get,
Be a condition.
this is also gonna be a condition, so
Sorry,
we're gonna
excuse me.
condition of the letter from the, what we're gonna call it a
From
butter.
the abutter.
Right.
Yeah.
The hammerhead,
Hammerhead.
And,
and design standards, you gotta have your brick wall, you know,
yeah,
make it
and,
look like this.
and everything you've written in here,
Sure. Of course.
right? Gotcha.
Okay.
We all have that, right?
Okay, so we all understand where we're at. We got 3 conditions. Do I have a
Yes.
motion?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Sorry, who made the motion?
Dave.
Thank you.
And Judy Carl made a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor? George, enjoy.
Josh,
Oh, wait,
if you wanna,
damn.
for Randy to sign, I can
Yeah, I
write
didn't
up
mention
and
2
then
weeks,
see
but I guess
tomorrow,
we're-
or I'll email it over to you.
Okay, and I'll drive there after work tomorrow.
It was mentioned in the
Okay.
course of the motion.
Congratulations.
Hey, guys,
Thank you
before
so
we
much.
get,
Yes, good luck.
I failed to mention, even though we discussed the 2 weeks to the next planning board meeting on the letter, does that need to be written into the condition? Or are we just gonna,
No,
Yes.
I'll,
It should be written into the condition, but I'm sure they're gonna take care of it
all right,
expeditiously.
enjoy.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah,
Which brings us
I
to,
know now who you are.
yeah, right? You sound like me.
Well, I know your mom as well. Well, I guess we both
all right.
fallen off, but we used to go to the gym together.
Okay, board, we're gonna go right to communications, Lee J. Oh, yes. You wanna go to the minutes first? All right, let's do minutes. The minutes of September 20th. Judy Worth as our minute reader.
Well, Tammy and I, we just looked at one sentence and it didn't make a lot of sense to me. Ptarmigan Ridge Estates, the second line, there is a difference between did the application submitted by the applicant, does it meet the submission checklist versus does it do what we want it to do? Does it show what we want? And somehow we were going to put a semicolon in between the applicant and does, and I still feel like it doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry.
So what would you?
Well, there's a difference between did the application submitted by the applicant, I think, meet the submission checklist versus does it do what we want it to do?
I agree with Judy Worth on that.
So what we'll take out is
Does it
Does
show
it?
what we want?
after the applicant,
Okay, so it's gonna be, there is a difference between the application submitted,
by the applicant,
okay, so cross out does it?
Yep.
yeah.
Okay,
So meeting, I think it needs to be meeting
Meet.
the submission checklist.
The applicant does it. Application submitted.
the application submitted by the
There is a
applicant
difference
meeting the
between-
submission checklist?
Right. Versus, does it do what we want it to do?
Meeting the.
Does that not make sense to you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
You
sorry.
have to read
I'm
the
with
whole
you on
sentence.
this because so go ahead and straighten it out. Whatever.
Yep.
Well, let's make it for 7 years from now. Somebody reads these one time through and they understand it. Whatever it takes to make that happen. That's what we need to think about. It's not whether we understand it right here, right now. Somebody who doesn't know anything about it.
That's actually true.
Exactly.
Yeah, hence, that's why I do the minutes the way I do.
Okay. Did you guys get this sitting straight?
Yep.
So is
Okay.
that okay?
It's already been changed.
All right, great.
Okay.
This is the, if approved, this would be the copy you're going to sign.
Okay.
All right.
So we're good? Motion.
Well, I make a motion that we approve them with that change.
Okay, second. Second by David. Discussion. Guess we had that. All in favor? Motion carries. Oh, let's see here. Communications.
Yep.
Mr. Feldman.
All right, I'll just stand up. The mic works better up here for me. So I know that there's been some requests as to where we're at with the document. All of the changes that we discussed at the last meeting, have been incorporated, have been made. The issue is that, as I recall, it came from David, but I saw the rest of the board kind of shaking their heads. They didn't want to see the ordinance till it had actually been formatted, taking care of any little typos or anything, cleaned up the way it would be if it were basically going into effect. It is in the hands of staff here in the town hall, and everybody's very busy, but there is a knowledge that it needs to be formatted. It's out of my hands. You don't want to pay me my hourly rate to be fixing little things that have to be done to the whole document, which includes space breaks in between every article so that every article can be amended separately, paging done in a way that every section is separate, and all of those other little things. So it is here electronically in the building, but it is not done being formatted yet, and so it's just a matter of waiting for that to occur.
Do we have an expected finish date?
I do not.
All right.
It was originally sent as I would have expected to do, which I did do. Send it to Tammy. She's been very busy and out straight, and it has been, as I understand, moved to other staff here in the building. So I am not sure what the expected timeline is.
That's a big job.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is. It doesn't. It's one, not easy, and two, to make sure it's right takes some time.
I do understand that.
Yeah.
When, but right now, we have an open door timeline. We could not see this thing for 3 months, 4 months, so we need to set.
Well, I'm hoping it'll be much shorter than
this
that,
thing-
but
we need to put a timeline on this and get it over with.
I mean, I'm hoping it's going to be a lot shorter timeline than that.
All right.
It-
I'll tell you what.
And I'll make sure I keep my eye on it to make
How-
sure it's within 30 days.
All right. Within 30 days is.
Within 30 days coming back to the board.
Does that sound reasonable?
That's fine.
Yes, Tim.
Would that include the fee schedule, separating out the fees?
Well-
The fee schedule has been pulled out. I did that probably a year ago.
Just for the ordinance?
Well,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, from our perspective, that's fine. I myself didn't want to recommend it because I think it's a much bigger issue that the town needs to deal with as a whole. Because there's many other fee schedules than just the zoning ordinance.
But as
So-
far as printing the new zoning book,
It'll be
we could at least pull out those fees.
Absolutely, that's
Right.
easy. Yeah, it's easily done.
And just for clarity to the public, we're doing that because it gives the Board of Selectmen the latitude to change up as we go without having to change the ordinance itself.
We would have to change the entire book if you
If we
changed
left
one
it in.
fee.
Correct.
Right, which is why we're pulling them out. But that's a kind of a separate issue than getting the zoning ordinance done and through. Because we can always get
Well,
somebody
it's
else
one and
in.
the same only
You're
because we
gonna
need to
print
take
the
them
book.
out. Yeah, we need to take them out of there.
Well, no, I get that. But I guess Tim was saying, are we also gonna print up the fee schedule at the same time? What I'm saying is, let's get this done first, and then we can put somebody on, setting up. the
Well,
fee
timing
schedule.
timing is everything. I mean, my concern is that if you do adopt the zoning ordinance without the fee schedule and the select board hasn't done anything with it, then the question would be, do you even have a fee schedule?
Well, I'm not, all right, let me see if I understand this, because we already have fees and charges for everything we do now. So we're not really changing the amount of money we're charging. We're just taking it out, putting it onto the desk of the selectmen. So that, I don't see why that affects anything, how the town does business.
Well, except that it's which comes first, the chicken or the egg, because if you delete them from the zoning ordinance, you adopt the zoning ordinance, and the select board has not adopted the fees as a separate standalone issue, then there are no fees.
And because it'd be a new ordinance, you guys just can't do that.
So we should start with just the
Yes.
fees from the ordinance
That would need to start now.
and then build on that. So
Correct.
I think that the selectmen put that back on the
Is-
planning board. So if we just had a
Okay,
document that was a fee schedule that was just the fees from the ordinances, it would be up from the
Is that-
ordinance book.
That would be something that would need to go on the select board agenda, like next week, if you will,
All right.
or whenever, for them to deal with and adopt. Then we can delete it from the zoning.
well, is it gonna be a new ordinance, or is it gonna be an amended to an ordinance?
My understanding was we voted to send it back to the board, which was the request last meeting.
Send it back here?
That you felt that the selectmen should task the planning board with that fee, developing that fee schedule.
So they want to see new fees from us before they adopt it, is that what
Or
you're saying?
just call out the fees from the ordinance book,
Yep,
a short list of fees.
that's
Send it
easily
back to
done.
us,
Yep,
and we would discuss. and-
okay,
and do
well,
it.
that's easily done.
David,
Yeah, so the strategy then sounds to me that you would have to, that you have two simultaneous, or back-to-back adoptions that have to occur.
Correct.
Then you're gonna adopt the zoning ordinance, and immediately thereafter, within a nanosecond, you're going to adopt the fee schedule that was taken from the old ordinance into some new ordinance of its own standing, so that you don't have any gap.
Correct.
here's the trick, though. There's a difference between amending the ordinance, which is what we're doing now, which can be done by a vote of the board, selectmen, whereas if this is a new ordinance, that's gotta go through the public hearing process. That's
The
all.
other one does too.
Yeah, but
There are two public hearings held when you amend any ordinance. One by the planning board,
And
and
one
one
by
by
the
the board of
selectmen.
selectmen.
yeah.
Yes.
Maybe a public hearing, but I know you can make an amendment by majority vote of the board of selectmen, but having a new
Little-
ordinance there's a different process. for
Right,
that.
I mean, I unless I'm missing something, I don't want to confuse the two issues, because basically what we're going to do is we can in workshop, if you want to come up with a new fee schedule. In other words, change the fees, the price of the fees, and then just send that to the select board, because it will be a separate standalone document that they will adopt. They are the only ones that need to hold the public hearing.
All right.
It's their document at that point.
Well,
It's not the planning board's. But we can recommend the fees that we want to charge for whatever applications it is. And as soon as that's adopted, then it can be deleted.
Yes, Tim.
Wouldn't that be contingent on adopting the new ordinances?
I would assume so, yes.
So it's not like it's gonna be out there, we're gonna start using it right away.
Nope.
We'll approve it.
Contingent on the new ordinance, yes.
Mr. Chair, you
Yes.
could have a simple statement in the new ordinance that the selectmen will approve and adjust fees as needed. That could be
You
a
know, believe it or not,
simple.
there
We
is
won't
something
need to do
in
that.
the existing that
Don't
says
need to
it.
do
There is
that.
something
Don't need
very
to do
similar
that.
to that, Glenn, in the existing ordinance. It talks about the Board of Selectmen. So I'll tell you what, so why don't we sit tight? Let's get what we have in place cleaned up first, because what we're talking about here is kind of a minor adjustment to it. We should have a workshop to get the fee schedule in place, ready to go.
Sure.
But I don't want to slow down the work that's going on now first.
Yeah, we won't. I mean, that's an
Oh.
easy thing to fix. I mean, that's a,
Since we're looking at 30 days is our plan to get this. Okay, roughly, so 23 days?
Well, it might be done next.
I'm
No,
not committing to
no,
anything.
no, just-
I'm not committing to
Is-
anything on this one.
To the board, is there anybody opposed to doing a workshop this next Wednesday for the fee schedule?
Next Wednesday or
When?
next meeting Wednesday?
Next
No,
meeting,
this
2 weeks.
Next coming Wednesday, specifically to move this forward so it's ready to go. Because what we're gonna run into now is, we're not gonna get started on this for another 2 weeks. We already got 2 public hearings that night, so on and so forth.
So you're talking the 11th.
Correct.
I started this process a year ago,
I know.
and I've got a spreadsheet, but it's gonna take me time to pull that together, because it's lost in my computer.
Okay, see, I hadn't really,
What's the harm in doing it after the next meeting? Instead of putting in an extra meeting?
well, because by that time, if we end up with the finished ordinance, we're gonna have nothing for the fee schedule. Now, I gotta say this.
In 2
When we
weeks.
started talking about removing this and putting it as a separate entity from the zoning ordinance, it wasn't about changing the amount of money. It was just about putting it in a position where the Board of Selectmen can, as they see needed. So I don't see why it's coming back to us so we can change the numbers. I think we're getting too much into the weeds here.
Then I mean, that's an easy fix. We're just
Okay,
going to take
that's-
it. We're just going to take it out of the proposed zoning ordinance, and it's going to be in the hands of the select board for them to adopt.
Yeah.
There you go. We're good with that, Tim?
Sounds good.
And then we'll just get there, we'll get all in place, and then if there needs to be a fee change after it's said and done, we'll
Fee
work on it.
change is in the hands of
Okay,
the select board.
so Lee J, this is not a big deal then?
No.
Great, because we're not gonna mess with the money. We're just gonna move it.
Going to copy the fee schedule and then cut it. It's 2 clicks.
Great.
It's
Perfect.
easy.
All right, so, let's see, so, great, so we're gonna have the zoning ordinance done by the 11th.
Don't look at me. Someone else come. Someone else.
I'm messing with you. Hopefully, so the target date's 30 days.
Just so you know, my office is not doing the.
We're not
rewrite.
meeting on the
No, we're not gonna, we're gonna pass on that now
I think I
because
said that.
we now have clarity that
All right.
we're not changing the money, we're just putting it in a different location where it can be changed easily down
All
the
right.
road.
Yes.
And I think the selectmen change the fees anyway.
Yeah, they do it every now and then. It's basic,
It ends up with
Do you
that.
want us to
Yes.
sign?
okay.
I mean, we can recommend, but
Yeah.
you do it.
And it's based on funding staff time, is really what it comes down to. Okay, so now that our communication caused us a bunch of, we'll move on to any miscellaneous.
I have miscellaneous.
Yes,
The board needs to consider, we have 2 subdivisions coming up, so the board needs to consider what they're going to do for sprinkler fire abatement. So,
didn't,
Andy Cote is who's got a pond.
Can we talk about these without them being here?
Yeah, I was talking general
In
standards.
general standards. So I'm gonna bring that up at the next two subdivisions. Just to remind you, Andy Cote's got a pond by his Waterboro Heights and Ptarmigan.
Well, you just don't get this, do you, Glenn? All right, so what we have is one subdivision.
You have to be flexible
One
on the-
one proposed subdivision has a pond in place that can have a dry hydrant installed where the fire department has access to plenty of water
Yep,
if something should happen.
yep,
The other subdivision doesn't.
does not.
Okay.
The push from my office is to not allow a subdivision developer to use a system as firefighting, because they don't get maintained, and if they crack and fail, who pays for it? The town should not be held liable to keep those systems full, maintained, or repaired. So the developer either has to put in a pond or sprinkle the homes.
Didn't we have
Okay.
this discussion
David.
a couple
we've
of
had this
meetings back?
discussion.
Where
We
we
have had this
decided
discussion.
that the sprinkler system was the proper answer because we pushed it back on the developer
Right.
and the homeowner.
To be in the homeowners
To make-
association
but-
agreement.
You guys
Right.
just need to be thinking about
But,
that.
Right.
but
We'll need
we
to be clear.
decided that the cistern as well as the pond was just a maintenance headache and
Yeah.
But
Seven.
a six-unit development probably won't have a homeowners association.
Each individual home under the building code can be required to have an individual sprinkler system.
Yeah.
So they would have to have their own cistern, if you will, their own
Okay.
tap
Big-
from their well.
That was
And,
my-
and your
that's how it-
concern was, how do you know that the sprinkler system
That one,
is
yeah.
operable?
Right.
What's-
And the
what's
answer was that was a homeowner
That's
responsibility.
right, that's
Which
where
is-
we were with the 13.
But I guess what Glenn's bringing up the subject here is that we need to put fire suppression as a top priority any more building in this town because we are very spread out. We got lots of woods. We got the fire department who's can carry water, but only so much of it. So at this point, when we're looking at development, everybody's got to think fire safety.
I agree.
Is the gist of it. Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, and okay, number 7, it says here, Judy Carl.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
All right, do we have a second?
Sure.
I'll second it.
These two are gonna fight over it.
No vote on board.
And, discussion,
Voted.
and all in favor? All right,
Done.
we're good.